one of the most important items in a jewellery repair workshop is this. This is an upright wedding ring stretcher and reducer. And I've got a client's ring that needs reducing. So that's what I'm going to show you in this film, how to reduce a wedding band. My name's Andrew Berry and welcome to At the Benches YouTube channel. Now you may be wondering why it's perched on top of the vise and so forth. Now this is something that's quite a nice little trick, little tip for you, is that upstairs here in our workshop we've got, it's not a real working workshop. This is where we do our casting and so forth for the films, and we got our recording studio in the other room there. And we don't have enough worktop space, and this is ideal if you have a small little workshop. It's important that you do get a nice big vise. This is something like a 4-inch vise attached to a worktop that is attached to the wall. And our wedding ring stretcher, and this can apply to any piece of equipment. It can apply to a gem ring stretcher, or it can apply to, and I'm looking down there because down by there, a shank bender and so forth. Attach them onto a little piece of worktop like this with a piece of 2x2 bit of wood underneath. That can then be tightened up in the vise to give you an extra bit of work surface that you can actually take off then and put underneath when you're not needing it and you need to use the vise. That's a little tip for you there. Okay, so let's get on with this. We've got a wedding band here, and it is a nice 22 carat wedding band, and we can do this with any metal, 9 carat, 18, 14, 22, and it's a nice quartz section. It always helps if the ring is a D section or a quartz section. A little bit more awkward if it's flat, like a flat section, it's got flat walls. This at the moment is a size, well, let me have a look. This is a size X at the moment, and we need to make it to a size R, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 6 sizes smaller. Now, usually you would come along and say, okay, 6 sizes smaller, let's cut 6 pieces, 6 sizes out of the ring, rejoin it with 22 carat solder, in this case, refinish it, repolish it and so forth. But you lose, the client loses that little bit of gold, and we always like to try and keep that gold for our client, keep it in the ring. Now this is a plain band with nothing in it, no stones, there's no pattern, which means we can easily use this reducing part of the wedding ring stretcher to reduce the ring without cutting it. We can resize wedding bands with patterns on it, but we'll come to that again in another film. But this part is the reducer. We've got this part that stretches, come to that again when I need to show you a film on how to stretch it, but this part reduces. So we lift the handle, and when you lift the handle and pull the handle down, it moves this little plunger up and down here. And as you bring the handle down, pushes the plunger down, and in the base we've got this disc of all different size holes, and they're slightly different sized holes on the other side here, but the advantage of this disc is that the holes are conical, so they're not straight, they're conical this way, which means that when we put a wedding band on the surface and it just sinks slightly into the die as we've got it there, and it stands slightly proud, it means that we can force that ring down into the die, which forces it, keeps the metal and forces the metal in on itself, so to speak, which then reduces the diameter. If you feel that when you put the ring on, perhaps it goes far too deep on that one, or it actually stands a bit too proud and doesn't go into one of the conical holes, we'll simply turn the disc over and try it on this side, and you may find you'll just find one that'll go in absolutely perfectly. They're slightly different sizes on each side. So this one here, as you can see now, stands, this ring goes in roughly round about 2/3 of the way down into the die, which leaves about 1/3 of the ring sticking proud. Now we can move this around until it's directly below the little piston here, and all we need to do now is get the handle and the handle comes down, touches the ring. Then we simply pull the handle. Then we can pull the handle down until the piston here just touches the ring, and then we can pull the handle down, and that will push the ring into the conical die. Like that. So the ring is now being pushed into the conical die. We can take the ring out. We now turn the ring over and put it back in. And it should be that third sticking up proud. Again, we put it into the, or underneath the piston, and then we pull the piston down again until it just goes down into the die, which means now we've actually shrunk the ring. We can check on our ring size. I'm not saying that's going to be the right amount of sizes, but we've gone down 1, 2, 3, 3.5. We've gone down just over a size on what we've got on our gauge here. Now we can turn over the die, come along to the next die that we need. Again, this one here stands about a third proud. Now this is 22 carat. We don't necessarily need to anneal this, although we can anneal it beforehand and it'll make our life just that little bit easier. But if you use an 18 carat or 9 carat rings to do this, I would always try and anneal them first. It makes your life just that little bit easier. So again, we will put this under the piston. We will pull the piston, the handle down, which will push the ring into the die. We take the piston up, we take the ring out, we turn the ring over, put it back in, and we carry on this way until the ring is the correct size, which happens to be a size R. And again, we turn the ring over. And let's try again. So again, we've only got 2 sizes to go. So you can see it's getting smaller really quite nicely. And it depends on how the surfaces of these conical dies are. If they're really, really smooth, it's going to hardly mark the ring at all. We've hardly got any marks in this at all. This is a nice quality piece of machinery. Turn the die over, and again, we do it one more time, and we should be roughly down to around about the right size. And again, turn the ring over. Okay, so that should be now a size R. Absolutely spot on, size R it is. So all we then have to do is obviously go back to our bench, grab your buff stick, clean up the inside because it has sort of wrinkled the gold a little bit. Go over the inside the band with the buff stick. Once you've done that, outside the band, don't forget, follow the contours of the ring. Do this over your bench, not over the floor like I'm doing it here. And then buff it all the way around. And once you've gone over the outside, get a white nylon brush, clean up the inside or an inside ring felt mop, and then go on the outside with a pre-polish, then a nice rouge to get the ring lovely, lovely and clean. Quick dip in the ultrasonic or wipe over with a nice soft cloth, and the job is done. Literally 15 minutes from start to finish. It's a no-brainer. An upright wedding ring stretcher and reducer. Don't forget, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Smash the little bell icon then to be notified when films go live on our YouTube channel. Give this film a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget, please share it with your friends. My name is Andrew Berry for At The Benches YouTube channel. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You can simply push this into play. Using this, I can take this off. I do.